bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
All right, well, how you doing? Fade to Black, bespoke radio for the masses. That's right. Today's Thursday, March 2nd. 61 days into the new year, just 306 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black. For KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the Planet. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? How you doing? That's right. It's Thursday. It's Fadernight. Open lines all night long. Jon Rappoport's going to be here with his No More Fake Newsroom live. The call-in number, we'll open up the phone lines at the top of the hour, is 323-825-5045. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm in the chair, as you can see. All ready to do this, man. Follow me on Twitter, at JChurchRadio. That's what you want to do, at JChurchRadio on Twitter. Facebook, YouTube, everything is Fade to Black. Jimmy Church Radio, JChurch Radio. You know what to do. Go follow, like, and subscribe right now. Just go to the website. Click the sandbox. Tonight, we will do 3,000 tweets. The sandbox on Twitter is hashtag F2B. We don't bite. I love saying that. Any questions or comments during the show tonight, use hashtag F2BQ. I do believe now we have two in the membership area. We have two Twitter feeds below the bunker cam. One is mine, or one is F2B, and the other one is F2BQ. So you can see those in real time, too, if that's where you're hanging out. You can email throughout the show tonight, Jimmy@JimmyChurchRadio.com. If you're a member, then you've got the secret email, and I will be getting those too as well. And right as I said that, two just popped in. Oh, man, that's long. Won't be reading that. All right. From Minimac. Minimac, I'm reading your email right now. I'll get to that. All right, I'll read it during the break. Subscribe to our podcast. Very simple. Over 600 archive shows, custom apps, Apple, Android, all platforms. Just $2 a month. Go to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Click on the podcast banner. Become a member. Become a Fadernaut. Click on the membership area. Everything is safe and secure. All pages are locked down. All of your personal information stays right here, Fade to Black. We don't have anybody else controlling our website. It is all done internally here. So your information is safe. And especially after what Amazon announced again today, security is paramount. And I don't know how they continue to screw up. More on that. I've got that breaking news in just a bit. Please visit all of our sponsors, Life Change Tea, GetTheTea.com, banners over at Jimmy Church Radio, River Moon Coffee, makers of the Fade to Black blend, which, of course, I drink every single day. I'm drinking it right now in the studio. I I know my day is right when I've got Fade to Black blend. So just click on the River Moon Coffee banner right now. Studio Dome speakers next month. Our contest here for the membership area, we're going to be giving away a full Fadernight Studio Dome package, 2 SBB, 2 speakers, power, cables, hard shell case, everything in the box that you need. We're going to give that away next month. This month, we're giving away a Tascam DM100 Mark III digital recorder. There you go. All right. Contact in the Desert is coming up May 19th through the 22nd in Joshua Tree, California. Tickets and info over at jimmychurchradio.com. The speaker list is huge. George Norrie, Graham Hancock, Jacques Vallée, Robert Bivol, Robert Schock, Wilcock, Good, Mars, Tsoukalos, Dolan, Collins, Lena Moulton Howe, Strieber, Sereda. Unbelievable lineup this year. All right, so just go. We are giving away passes, and like we do every year, okay? I think last year we gave away, 20. The same thing with the year before. We're going to do that again this year. It's very simple. Just enter. Click on the banner. Go and enter the contest. Now, if you win, the pass is non-transferable. I keep saying this every night on the show. We have a very large audience. Everybody wants to go to Contact. I get that. Everybody wants to win a contest. I get that too. But if you win, we're only limited to so many passes that we can give away. So if you win and you can't go, let us know so we can have another name drawn. Okay, it's just the right thing to do. It's the Fadernight thing to do. If you win a pass and you cannot attend, just let us know. We'll draw another name. So, in advance, to all of that, good luck to all of you Fadernights. Let's get this show cracking. Thursday night, Fadernight, open lines. Jon Rappoport, man, it is all good. All right, let's see here. Our dead guy's birthday today is Dr. Seuss. Died on September 24th, 1991 at the age of 87. Author and cartoonist who wrote 46 totally immortal children's books under the pen name of Dr. Seuss. He was born Theodore Geisel in Springfield, Massachusetts, on this day in 1904. His most notable works include, of course, The Cat in the Hat, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and my favorite, Green Eggs and Ham. But a little piece of trivia with Dr. Seuss. He drew over 400 political cartoons for the leftist New York newspapers during World War II that criticized Hitler as well as Charles Lindbergh. So there you go. All right. Happy birthday, Dr. Seuss. On this day in history, OTD. 1972. I remember it like it was yesterday. Pioneer 10, the world's first outer planetary probe, planetary, is launched from Cape Canaveral, Florida, on a mission to Jupiter, the solar system's largest planet. Now, in December 1973, after successfully negotiating the asteroid belt, and at a distance of 620 million miles, Pioneer 10 reached Jupiter and sent back to Earth the first close-up images of the gas giant. And man, what a big story that was, wasn't it? In 1972, 1973, seeing those close-up images, it was incredible. Pioneer 10, that's a really big deal. Fader fact. That's right. This Fader fact that I'm going to share with you is such urban legend here in Los Angeles. I mean, everybody talked about this. Still does, actually, right? That Eddie Van Halen's guitar solo on Michael Jackson's Beat It caused a speaker to catch on fire during its recording. Now, it's been vetted. There are witnesses. I guess it really happened. I wasn't there. I was in Indianapolis when that song was released. And that song and Eddie Van Halen, first off, Michael Jackson was the biggest thing ever, right, at that time. And so was Van Halen, right? Eddie Van Halen was the man. And so for the two of them to merge, for all of us, it was a big deal, right? But to catch that song on the radio and listen to Eddie Van Halen's guitar solo, it was like the big deal, man, because the song was a weird release and you couldn't get it, and then you could, but then it was only released on radio for a while. It was like a big deal to catch it, get it recorded on cassette. And if you had it on cassette, you were like, man, I got Beat It. Really? Yeah, man, on cassette. We would sit around and listen to it and wait for that guitar solo. That was a big deal. Anyway, apparently speakers caught on fire during its recording. All right. It's Thursday night. It's Fadernight. Jon Rappoport's going to be here in a few minutes with his No More Fake Newsroom Live. And the call-in number, of course, is 323-825-5045. Let's light up the phones tonight. I'm looking forward to another great Fader night. Last week's Fader night was one for the ages, wasn't it? It was just really, really cool. First-time callers, great stories, 2 great near-death experience stories last week. And having that happen for me, having, just back-to-back-to-back dynamic phone calls like that is what Fader Night is all about. That's why I am here, because this is a family. And just sitting here and getting those phone calls makes me feel great. We run out of time, and it's why Thursday night for me is so special. Tonight is the first night that we've got the bunker cam going for all of the Fadernauts tonight. So I encourage everybody to go to our site, go to the membership area, and become a Fadernaut. All you have to do to become a Fadernaut is just register with your email. That's all you've got to do. So when you do that, and it's free, when you do that on Thursday nights, open lines with Jon Rappoport, you get the bunker cam. Right, so you can come in and watch. That's what we do here. This is a family thing, and that's why Thursday night is so special. So if you want to see the show tonight on the bunker camp, go and register right now. You still have time to do it, right? Go and register right now and become a Fadernaut. Somebody was tweeting out, no, I'm sorry. Let me back up. I got this in Facebook today. I got a message. How do I become a Fadernaut? I said, look, go to the membership area right here. Just do it, right? Now, if you want commercial-free downloads and all the other perks that come with a yearly membership, go ahead and do that too. And when you register and become a member with the yearly membership, you automatically get entered into our contest that we will be running every single month. With that, let's get this show cracking. Man, more private emails. What's going on with this? You guys are happy. All right. I'll get to those in a second. I'll read them after the break. All right. I promise. Well, Elon Musk last week announced that in 2018, 2 private individuals are going to fly around the moon. And it was a big announcement. Well, at least for us, right? That's a big deal. That's a big announcement. And saying it like he did, it's a done deal, right? I don't know how they're going to get there. I don't know how they're going to get back. But apparently he has a plan. So, that being said, here's what we know so far about the 2 mysterious people that have reportedly signed up and paid for the SpaceX trip around the moon. One, this is how my brain works here, so just go with me. One, they're very rich, whoever they are, right? They've got to have some money. And 2, they are nobody from Hollywood. And this is according to Elon Musk. So you can start scratching off Hollywood celebrities off of the list. Now, I don't know if we're going to get surprised later and it turns out to be Spielberg or somebody. I don't know. I was kind of hoping Justin Timberlake was signing up for this, but I don't know. But that's the way that Elon Musk put it when the moon trip was announced. Today's Thursday. This was on Monday. SpaceX said that the flight would happen next year. And if the company actually pulls it off, it would mark the first time since NASA's Apollo era, nearly 50 years ago, that something like this has even happened. More on that in a bit as well. Not much else is known about the project at this point, least of all who the two rich, not from Hollywood civilians might be. The company is not saying how much a ticket would cost or precisely what kind of screening and training the two people would have to go through, though we can assume that that is a real training program. You've got to be in shape and you've got to be of sound mind and body to survive in a capsule for that long with somebody that you may or may not like, right? He did say, however, that the two people know each other. So now we can start to deduce a couple of things here. And that the two of them came to SpaceX with the proposal that they be rocketed in the direction of the moon. Now, and he said that the pair had posted a significant deposit and are very serious about taking this trip. That's, it's 240,000 miles each way through the Van Allen belt, by the way. Though he didn't say that he didn't have permission to identify them or to say if they were men or women or even pilots themselves. We don't know any of these things, right? And then he went on to say, and I'm quoting here, he said, I think they are entering this with their eyes open, knowing that there is some risk here. They're certainly not naive and will do everything we can to minimize that risk, but it's not zero. But they're coming into this with their eyes open. So I got a list together here. Let's take a few wild guesses, right, at who they might be. Shall we? Shall we do this together right now? Well, top of the list, Robert Bigelow. That's right. Think about that for a second. Robert Bigelow. He's rich, deep-pocketed. He owns the Budget Suites of America hotel chain. He's a well-known rich guy, loves space travel dude, into UFOs and Skinwalker Ranch and all of that stuff. He has said that he's had these dreams of space travel since he was 12. He owns his own aerospace firm, Bigelow Aerospace, and he's been trying to work out details with not only the space station, but possible habitats on Mars. And he has the vision. He has the money. Could it be Robert Bigelow? Okay. More on that in just a bit. How about Naveen Jain, the billionaire entrepreneur who founded Moon Express as a way to help U.S. companies get their space exploration act together and start making money from rare rocks and minerals on the moon. And it makes sense that he might be willing to cough up some of his own money to get a closer look at the moon because he wants to exploit it and get those minerals back here to Earth. So he makes some sense to me as well. Then you've got Yuri Milner. Now, Yuri, he was named after the first man in space, by the way. Okay, Yuri Gagarin. So there's that part of it. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it, but it is a strange coincidence. So he's got space travel in his blood, if you think about it. It is in his DNA. He also has enough money. As you know, he's doing the launch of the microsatellites to another star system, right? He's working on that, and he has pledged $100 million towards that project, too, as well, and, with Stephen Hawking. So there's that. He could be one of the people that approach Musk, at least with the idea of doing this, right? So I think that he's high on the list. He put in the $150 million with Stephen Hawking's $100 million. He's paying to have himself flung up. How do I want to say this? His personality with these micro satellites and the search for alien life, and he's got the money. I think he's high on the list. So I think Yuri is there. Stephen Hawking I didn't put on the list because physically he couldn't do it. But Stephen Hawking was an interesting consideration too as well. So think about that. Plus it's two guys. Could it be Yuri and Hawking? I mean, the rigors of space and what goes on there in the space launch, but I don't know. Wouldn't that be interesting too as well? But then we have this guy. Sir Richard Branson. Now, he already owns his own space venture. He's got Virgin Galactic, and there's breaking news on that I'm going to get to in a bit. He's got hundreds of people signed up for his travel plans at $250,000 a crack, 62-mile high look at the Earth. So there's that. He's young, well, relatively. He could be in shape, right? It could be just too big of an offer for a guy like him to pass up. So there's that. But then we have Elon Musk himself. Could it be Elon? The guy's obviously obsessed with space travel, even though he talks really strange. He's almost alien-like. There's something about Elon that freaks me out, right? I like the guy, but he talks weird. I'm expecting Elon one day to be sitting there on camera and just pull off the mask and dude is a reptilian. But so you've got Elon Musk himself. He's got a net worth of, north of $13 billion. And, although he's got Tesla, and that there's this aspect with all of these guys, with Yuri, with Jane, with Bigelow, and Milner. If you think about all of these guys, they would be strapping themselves to a bomb, right? Would they put the risk of their lives, their futures, and potentially their companies at risk by doing something like this? And it's like a first-time shot with no testing going on. It's just a bizarre concept. But strapping yourself to the end of a stick of dynamite is kind of crazy. But it's expensive. And the cost of these tickets hasn't been announced. What is it cost in a private sense to launch a rocket to cruise around the moon and back to Earth? It's got to be extraordinarily expensive. Huge money. So we've got this kind of conundrum in play here. With all of the astronauts that have been launched into space, and some of them have been intelligent, and I'm talking about a unique person with intelligence, right? But the vast majority of astronauts that have been launched up, and I'm not degrading or talking down about any of them, but none of them are the designers of the rockets, right? The designers of these rockets are on the ground watching them launch. They are not putting themselves at risk, right? They're not test driving their own cars. It's somebody else that is being put in these rockets. And it's like the astronauts are a little bit expendable, if you know what I mean, right? Von Braun, anybody else that is involved with the design of these rockets, real rocket scientists are on the ground observing what is going on. Okay? Here, we're talking about two very rich people climbing on this rocket, going around the moon and coming back. For the first time, no test run, nothing. And they are going to do this in 2018. So who is it? Who would risk everything and strap themselves on with no guarantees? When Elon Musk says publicly, look, there's a lot of risk here. We're going to try to keep the risk down, but they know the risk. That to me, I like terra firma. I would keep my feet on the ground. It's another thing to have a flying saucer land, right, that got here from another galaxy that survived a wormhole and got here. I would get on that. That's tried and true stuff here. I have no problems getting on a Boeing 777 and flying across the country. It's been tested thousands and thousands of times. Hundreds of thousands of people fly every single day, right? It's a tested system. I get that. But just to jump on, there is a reason why, folks. There's a reason why we haven't been back to the moon in 50 years. There's a big reason. And I don't know. I have my speculations, but I don't know why we haven't been back. But with the Van Allen radiation belt and technology and everything else, there's a reason why we haven't gone back. And to turn around in the first trip back after 50 years to be in the hands of private citizens, it makes me a little bit nervous. Now, what do these rich guys know that we don't? That there is a pretty good chance that you're coming back, right? Think about that for a second. It's a fascinating story. We're going to see it next year. This is 2017. This is going to happen in 2018. Who these two guys are, or gals, one of each, we're going to find out very soon. And why they would risk it all. Think about that. And what are they paying for it? This is Fade to Black. I am your host, Jimmy Church. When I come back, it's Thursday night. You know what that means. Jon Rappoport and his No More Fake Newsroom Live. And I know, I don't do this, but tonight I actually know what John's going to talk about, and I can't wait. Normally I'm surprised. Tonight, I know. So sit right there and get ready, Jon Rappoport. After that, opening up the phone lines, 323-825-5045. Thursday night, Fadernight. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. I'll be right back.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi, folks. In a world of GMO, genetically modified organisms, that is, chemicals, processed foods, and a healthcare system that's unraveling like a cheap suit, it's time to prepare. God created herbs, and herbs help man. Our body can heal itself, just sometimes we need assistance. You need some help? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Our mild detox is quite powerful with its unique blend of 8 different herbs. And if you're looking for more, our non-GMO supplements will help you with different needs you might have. Health should be a top priority. Take care of your health naturally. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Give your body a treat. Let the herbs do their thing naturally. Read all the testimonies on the website. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Sickness and viruses are like intruders, and herbs are like warriors. Let the tea work for you. That's GetTheTea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Hi, this is Chase Kletzky with Fate Magazine Radio, and you're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station, where the Fadernauts rock.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
And now, coming to you from the No More Fake Newsroom in deep space, which is the space that we suspect to be true, that the world as it is fed to us every day by the Ministry of Truth is a lie. It's a false reality, a movie projected on the screen of our subconscious. This, however, is the breakout. All the screens crash. They all go down, and we see the light of day. A new day. No more robots. No more androids. It's the No More Fake Newsroom with Jon Rappoport. Take it away, John.
Thank you, Jimmy. Hello, folks. Okay, this is going to be several levels here we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about conspiracy. Oh, yes. And before we do, I just want to take apart that word down to its roots, which occur in Latin. Con, meaning with, and spiracy comes from spiro, to breathe. Breathing together. We breathe together. That's the root of conspiracy. Easy to see how that developed through levels of abstraction. Conspirators breathe together. They plan together. They sit together. They conspire together. Okay? But now, in this technological society, we need to take another look at the structure of conspiracy because that is changing. It's morphing into more dimensions. That's what's happening. And so I've got an article up here that I wrote a couple of weeks ago titled, Is the NSA, National Security Agency, the real president of the United States? And I got that title from somebody in a conversation a few weeks ago. Let's see, who was it? A guy named Jimmy Church. We had a very interesting chat before I went on the air, and that's what emerged. And so I titled that article that way. And it begins, and I'm going to be quoting from the article, with an interview with William Binney, Bill Binney, a formerly highly placed NSA official. Don't forget now, we're talking about the NSA that does surveillance on everybody all the time, exposed to some degree by Edward Snowden. Well, Bill Binney was one of the original whistleblowers. He retired from the NSA after 30 years in 2001, October. And in this interview, he's being asked whether he thinks the NSA is tapping Trump's telephone, and he says, absolutely. How did they get the phone call between the president of the United States, Trump, and the president of Australia, or the one he made with Mexico, et cetera, et cetera? And then he says something very interesting. The FBI and the CIA have direct access inside the NSA databases. Wow. So they may be able to go directly in there and see that material there, and NSA doesn't monitor that. They don't monitor what CIA and FBI do. There is no oversight. I'm still quoting from Binney. So any way you look at it, ultimately the NSA is responsible, he says, because they are doing the collection on everybody inside the United States, phone calls, emails, all of that stuff. All right? So keep that in mind. And now I'm going to scroll down in my article here and talk about a novel. A novel by a very famous and successful spy novelist, Brad Thor, who wrote a novel called Blacklist. Posits the existence of a monster corporation, ATS, that stands alongside the NSA in collecting information on every move we make. On pages 117-18 of Blacklist, Thor makes a stunning inference that on reflection is as obvious as the fingers on your hand, and now I'm quoting from Thor. For years, ATS had been using its technological superiority to conduct massive insider trading. Since the early 1980s, the company had spied on anyone and everyone in the financial world. They listened in on phone calls, intercepted faxes, and evolved right along with the technology, hacking internal computer networks and email accounts. They created mountains of, quote, black dollars for themselves, which they washed through various programs they were running under secret contract, far from the prying eyes of financial regulators. Those black dollars were invested into hard assets around the world, as well as in the stock market through sham offshore corporations. They also funneled the money into reams of promising R&D projects, which eventually would be turned around and sold to the Pentagon or the CIA. In short, ATS had created its own license to print money and had assured itself a place beyond examination or reproach. Now that's fiction. That's Brad Thor in Blacklist. But he is, in fact, describing the capability of the National Security Agency, and of course he knows that. So think about that. Think about that. Because what we're talking about here could be called meta-crime. Criminals spying on other criminals. A different layer erected on conspiracies. In other words, for example, you've got all these players in the financial world who are manipulating markets and making gigantic amounts of money on stock markets and trading markets around the world, right? And then you've got NSA with the capability of standing behind those criminals and spying on them and using all the insider data to amass gigantic amounts of money from investing in these markets, and then turning that money around, as Thor posits, into hard assets, R&D projects that bring forth new technology, which they then sell through front companies, etc., etc., etc. Let's take it to another level. NSA would have the capability, and by the way, the CIA was accused of this in the U.S. Senate. The NSA has the capability of spying on politicians. Think about that for a minute. Let that sink in. Having all kinds of information about politicians through phone calls, emails, any electronic devices. So if these politicians are doing things that they don't want the public to know about, the NSA would have the capability of having that information and storing it and using it or threatening to use it, which is even more effective. Threatening to use it on politicians. Not just Democrats, not just Republicans, everybody. And that would give them enormous leverage and power to affect political decisions in the executive branch, in the judiciary, in the legislative branch, everywhere, everywhere. To say nothing of foreign leaders as well. Think about that. Think about that. And then think about the foreknowledge that the NSA could have about events in the world. Knowledge before you and I and even many leaders would know about it. And I'm now quoting from my article. In this global surveillance world, we need to ask new questions and think along different lines now. For example, how long before the mortgage derivative crisis hit, 2007, 2008, did the masters of surveillance know from spying on bank records that insupportable debt was accumulating at a lethal pace? What did they do with that information? When did they know that at least $1 trillion was missing from Pentagon accounting books, as Rumsfeld eventually publicly admitted on September 10th, 2001, And what did they, the NSA, do with that information? Did they discover where billions of dollars in cash shipped to post-war Iraq disappeared to? When did they know the details of the Libor rate-fixing scandal, another banking scandal? Have they tracked in detail the men responsible for recruiting hired mercenaries and terrorists who eventually wound up in Syria pretending to be an authentic rebel force? Getting the picture here? Have they collected detailed accounts of the most private plans of Bilderberg, CFR, and Trilateral Commission leaders? For global surveillance kings, what we think of as the future is, in many respects, the present and the past. It's a new world. These overseers of universal information detection can enter and probe the most secret caches of data, collect, collate, cross-reference, and assemble them into vital bottom lines. By comparison, an operation like WikiLeaks is an old Model T Ford puttering down a country road. All right. A new structure of conspiracy is upon us because now we have to factor in the people at NSA and other spying agencies around the world that are doing such a good job that they know the future before it happens, that they can blackmail any number of politicians and direct or redirect the course of history, that they can spy on insiders making billions, maybe even trillions in financial markets through insider criminal trading. They can spy on those people and make untold amounts of money and use it in ways that are, of course, completely concealed from the public. That introduces a whole new level of conspiracy and crime, and it needs to be factored into our picture of the world as it exists today. Information is definitely power when people like that have it, and when they use it, when they know how to use it. There are many people out there who understand what the surveillance state is, but they don't get the whole picture. They don't realize, because they really would not rather think about it. Certainly they would not like to bring it up in the halls of power like the U.S. Congress or the British Parliament or the Australian legislature, and say, wait a minute, guys, I think we have to readjust our understanding of what is happening in the world today. That is not happening. It's not happening in the mainstream press either. If it is happening, if people are attempting to factor this in, they're doing it privately and secretly in think tanks somewhere. But asking the question, is the NSA the real president of the United States, is a entirely legitimate question, because if they can spy to the degree that Bill Binney, for example, says they can, what are they doing with all that information? How are they putting it to use? You've got a leader somewhere who is emerging with a large following, and I'm not just talking about Trump, anywhere, anytime. And the NSA decides that this leader should not advance beyond where he is now. They simply make sure they collect enough data on that leader so they find something in his past. They spy on his friends and colleagues. They unearth pieces of data, and they use that for blackmail. and suddenly that leader is off the scene. He retires. He goes into another field of endeavor. He gives a reason, an excuse, and he's gone, and nobody ever hears about him again. How about that? How about people who want to and do start a project to change things for the better in some segment of society, by which I mean more freedom, more responsibility, more enterprise, more individual uplifting, etc., etc. And that person could be targeted. All sorts of things could happen. So, what started in 2013 with the Snowden revelations should have been only the beginning of the story. Instead, in a strange way, it's the end of the story, because although the press has continued to cover this, the tune that they're playing is pretty much the same. Not enough privacy, too much intrusion on our lives, overstepping legal boundaries. Here's a new program that has been uncovered from the Snowden files, etc., etc. It's basically the same tune, but the implications are not being followed up. The dots are not being connected. What does this really mean? What are the consequences? What are the possibilities? Where could this all go? What does the surveillance state really mean? Well, it means several things, and I've covered a couple of them on Fade to Black here. But it also means this, what I'm talking about tonight. It means this very much so. Here's another quote from my article. The NSA is not only the swamp that needs to be drained, it is the agency looking and probing the swamp and extracting crucial information for itself and its close friends to accumulate more power. The NSA, the obsessed technocrats who believe they are masters of all they survey and spy on. This is indeed an element of the technocracy that I have been talking about off and on since my first appearance here on Fade to Black. The people who believe that technology should be used to organize and run society. And of course, that's vague enough to leave several barn doors open, wide open, and here is one of them. One of the major, if not the major door. Yes, we're going to use technology, but here's how we're going to do it. We're going to use it to spy on everybody all the time and pick and choose what we want to do with that data in order to increase our own power and therefore control over society and therefore control over everybody. And how would a president go up against that? How would he combat that? What would he do? Where is the inroad? Well, you say he could appoint his own head of the NSA. Yes, that's true. Is that any guarantee that he would be able to dismantle NSA power? That's a big question. That's not an easy question to answer because you're talking about an agency of gigantic size, tens of thousands of employees at different levels. And if you think that the NSA and other such organizations are just super constructed with, guidelines for who is who's boss and who's in charge, and it's all very well perfectly put together, and there are no lapses, there are no little compartments where very strange things are going on out of view of everybody else, you would be naive, because this happens in all gigantic organizations. So it's certainly happening inside NSA. Would a president be able to pry that loose? Would he be able to take over that power and diminish it and reduce it, even if he wanted to? That's a very serious question. The NSA, the National Security Agency, is in fact organized under the Pentagon, which is itself organized under the Department of Defense, which is organized under the president. It's in the executive branch. So here you would have one element of the executive branch running the entire executive branch, or having the power to, including the president. Brings us back again to that question. Is the NSA the real president of the United States? There are many, many ripples from what I'm talking about here. Many, many ripples. The NSA, for example, would have a certain amount of access to other agencies in the executive branch. And to be able to spy on them 24/7 would give them power over those cabinet posts and departments as well. And for those of you listening from other countries, you can translate everything I'm saying into whatever the names and the labels and the functions are of agencies in your own government, because the situation is basically the same. This spying surveillance operation is going on all over the world. So for us to grasp and be able to start forming a picture of what is happening here, again, we have to factor this in. Criminals spying on other criminals. Criminals spying on leaders. Criminals spying on citizens. Criminals spying on financial markets. Criminals spying on other governments. Criminals spying on each other. Criminals spying on each other, indeedy do. And where does that lead us? Well, we have to be in the process of fleshing out that picture and understanding what it means, so that when we encounter certain stories in the news, many different types of stories, we will be better equipped to look at that story and say, wait a minute, that has the flavor of something that was released as a result of spies spying on other people. That's where I think this is coming from. Take that cue, take that clue, take that hint, and start looking at some of the news from that angle, because you're going to see all kinds of things. How much does the NSA know about UFOs? How much evidence are they able to spy on? Electronically stored evidence, say, that is held by the CIA or by other agencies around the world. How much have they collated and put together? What do they know? What have they done with what they know, if anything? What could they do with what they know? Food for thought, folks. Serious thought. In some ways, chilling thought, also fascinating thought. Be alert, be aware. Talk to you next time.
John, thank you for that. And I wanted to jump in here really quick before I said goodnight to you. The other part of this that is obvious is you cannot, and especially if you're a politician in the public sense, you can't get away with anything these days either, right? Everything is completely documented. And an example of this is what's going down right now with the AG Sessions, where, he did, make contact. Now he's had to recuse himself, but he just didn't think that anybody noticed, right? But you're being not only surveilled by the NSA, but you're being surveilled by the barrage of video cameras and net and internet and report. Everybody out there is observing everything, and he got caught. And you cannot, all of this will be used against you at a future date if you choose to go down the wrong path. And the NSA, with these bullets in their guns, or anybody else or any media outlet, you step out of line and boom, there's evidence now. This isn't the old days, right? I mean, today you've got to run with the man, right, and stay on that side of the fence, or you're going to get you're going to get exposed with something.
Yes, and the antidote to that, I would say, in many, many cases, if enough people are up front about this when they are exposed and say, yep, absolutely right. Okay, now, does that mean that you're going to now, exile me from public life forever?
Right.
Do you think I'm the only person who's ever made a mistake or stepped across the line? You think I'm going to grovel? No chance, because everybody has something that they could find troublesome if it suddenly popped up. And if enough people start to work it that way, that starts to provide an antidote instead of, denial, and all the kind of tap dancing that goes on.
Right. And the other part of that, and again, I want to thank you, just another brilliant piece from you tonight, is this. I think it will start, and believe it or not, have a positive effect in that it will start to force people into telling the truth all the time. Right? Because you can't get caught. You're going to get caught. Right. And if he would have been ahead of this during all of the hearings for his confirmation and just said, hey, yeah, I talked to the ambassador a couple of times, then there is no issue here. Right.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, John. You are the very best. No more fakenews.com. Jon Rappoport, everybody. Thank you so much, John. This is Fade to Black. It's Thursday night. It is Fadernight. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Opening up the phone lines right now, 323-825-5045. I'll be right back.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
Hello, I'm Katie and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to jimmychurchradio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're of the Honey Brothers. Well, yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129 and use the promo code JCRTWS and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner, Gobekli Tepe.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free, and we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code TALK.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. Thursday night, it is Fader Night. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. The lines are open, 323-825-5045. If you're on hold, stay right there. It's going to be a great night tonight. 323-825-5045. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. You can follow us on Twitter @jchurchradio. Very simple. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. Everything is on fire tonight, as it always is on Thursday night. A couple of things really quick. If you are a Fader Night and you're here tonight with the Bunker Cam, welcome. And we're going to be giving away this month a Tascam DM100 Mark III digital recorder. So if you're a Fader Not, consider upgrading and go to a yearly subscription. Get in. It's still not too late to get in on the giveaway that we're going to do this month. All right. With that, phones are lighting up. Let's go. First time out of the box right now. You're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
This is Nathan again.
Hey, Nathan. How are you?
Doing pretty good. I called last weekend.
Okay. I remember.
Or last week. And you told me to call back and tell you another story.
Sure. Go ahead, Nathan. What have you got?
All right. This happened about a year ago. I was laying in bed, which for me is actually in my living room right now, and sleeping on a futon, and this being came through, woke me up. I heard this buzzing noise, and that's what woke me up, was the buzzing noise. And then this being floated through the wall like Superman flying through the sky, but not that fast. Just slowly floated over me, and then it was behind me, and I was in a paralyzed state, and I sat up.
Nathan, when you said Superman, are you saying he had his arms like out in front of him, like Superman, like he was flying?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. What did he look like?
He was blue. He was glowing blue. He was almost like one of the beings from Cocoon.
Interesting.
But it was built like a gray. It was built like a gray, but very like the cover of Communion, very, very. They had the almond eyes and everything.
And so what did he do? Now, you said he went behind you. What do you mean?
He got behind, I was laying in bed, and he kind of stood behind the headboard, and which there's nothing in his way there. Like there's a big, like I said, my bed is in my living room, so the headboard faces long ways against my wall, and then there's my door, so there's a big opening where my front door is.
Right.
And he was standing right there, and while I was still in a trance, he kind of commanded me to sit up telepathically.
Okay.
And I sat up, and he was sitting there, and he was standing there, and that's when I realized he was probably about the same height as me. I'm about 5'5", 5'6", something like that. And that's how I got a good look at him. Or her, I don't know.
Was
I didn't notice that.
Well, was he solid?
Very solid.
Interesting. What happened next?
Well, we had a telepathic communication. I said don't, because I didn't want to get abducted again.
Fair enough.
And he said, I have to. And then all of a sudden, he just floated up through the ceiling. And like it wasn't there. And that I came to the next morning.
Wow. You know, with these, was it the same, because this isn't the first time for you, do you think it was them coming back, or was it another alien or another species?
It was definitely something I had never seen before.
Right.
I've seen about, if I had to be honest, a safe number, I've seen about 10 different species of aliens.
I have to ask you, Nathan, why you?
Well, the real truth about that is, like I said, I don't know whether they're actually aliens, or if they're, spirit guides, or what they are. If there are if it's all those things connected. Some things even seem demonic to me. But I got this tattoo about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a crucified alien.
You have an alien on a cross.
Yes, it's a.
Okay.
It's called the Alien Crucifixion. It's actually a Frank Frazetta piece.
Right.
And the best I can tell, the early portions, my childhood and things like that, seemed to be like the forces of darkness battling their way out for me. And then when I got my tattoo, it seems like a lot of things stopped happening.
Are you able to ask questions?
And it just picked up again.
Yeah.
Not really.
Right.
Not really. I've been yelled at a few times.
What do you mean?
I mean, I've had things that were obviously angry with me, yelling at me for doing things. Like I have some grand purpose to them, but they haven't told me what it is.
Exactly. You need to find that out. When was the last time you were contacted?
Well, that was the last time I had an alien contact. I had a
when was this?
More of a demonic contact.
When was this last alien contact?
About a year ago.
Well, now that you've got this show, right? This is the cool thing, Nathan. The next time it happens, ask some questions and then call me right away.
Right.
we need to find out, man. And if you're out there and you're experiencing this, you're on the front lines for us, for the Fadernauts, for our family.
All right.
Well, think about that, okay? And I know, look, it's going to be traumatic, it's going to be emotional, and I get all of that. But try to keep your wits about you just enough to go, man, I've got to ask some questions for Jimmy. All right? Will you do that for me? And I'm being serious.
I'll give it a shot.
You got it, Nathan.
I'll give it a shot.
Thank you for sharing that with us, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Jimmy.
Have a great night, my friend. Great phone call. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Mr. Church. I'm glad I was able to call in and talk to you finally. Was ready to talk to you about certain things. We're live, right?
Yes, we are live right now. Live. Don't be nervous. Take a deep breath.
No.
Go Beckley Tepe. Take a quick shot. Right? And, right? Okay, so now you know we're live, right?
Yeah, now I know we are.
Now you know. All right.
Well,
what's your name?
I wanted to talk to you. My name is Mike.
How you doing, Mike?
I can get that out. I wanted to talk to you about certain things, about some UFO stuff, but was kind of leery about talking about it.
Why is that? Well, why? Is this like privileged information? What I mean by that is this stuff that, that you want to get out, but you don't want to be exposed? Is that what you're suggesting? So you know what?
Yeah, no, I don't.
Okay, well, look, this is totally anonymous. Okay, all right. Let me give out your phone number on the air. How's that? It's just a joke, Mike. Relax. Just a joke. Okay, so I'm curious. Okay, so where do you want to start with this?
Well, I know that you've talked about it before, and everybody's that you talked about this stuff. They've given you little pieces of information, and you've mentioned that before. And you're like, everybody's always giving you a piece of it, right? But what I've never heard is everybody kind of connect it before, the whole UFO thing and what Tom DeLonge was talking about last year with you was almost that. It was perfect. He was hitting up to it, and then the information just stopped. Okay, the whole soul thing with ET
and religion,
pretty much
right?
All
right.
What all this is. Okay. That's what this whole thing is about with us being here on this planet.
How do you?
What they don't.
Well, where do you get your information from before we continue?
Well, it's all public information.
Okay.
I do have a predecessor that has the information out, but he won't talk to you.
Okay.
He doesn't want to talk to anybody about it. And that's part of the problem. The information, the way it's supposed to be put out, is that individuals are supposed to find it. They're not supposed to be shoveled the information. Because it's so fantastic. No one's going to really believe him anyway. So he figures you have to find it. So if you don't find it, then you won't know. So it's less than, 1,500.
Well,
that's how I found the information.
Okay, with Tom DeLonge and his announcement over the past week that he is going to do a big reveal in the next 60 days. Now, I don't know what that is. My message, if I was speaking to Tom right now, if he would have said that on this show, my response is, and again, I respect Tom, I really do, and he's out there, fighting the good fight. But short of a video of him, walking onto a flying saucer and sitting down in the pilot's chair, right, and taking us on a tour of a craft, short of that, I don't know what the big reveal could be. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? Because if it's just information, if it's just words, well, okay, I don't need that. I've already seen what I've seen. I know that.
Yeah, you know because you've already seen it.
I've already seen
everybody.
Exactly. I mean, so what is it that could be part of this big reveal, right? And I know he's putting together a video and a documentary, and he's got these books out, and we love Peter Levenda and all of that. I get that. I really do. But if it's just words or just documents, I'm not interested in that. The only thing that could take things to the next level is DeLonge in an underground bunker somewhere, and here's the spacecraft. Here it is. Let's go on board and check it out. Right? Give me
that. Would never happen.
I don't know what Tom's got up his sleeve. I'm not even suggesting.
No. I'm not saying that won't happen. No, I know what you're saying.
Right.
What I mean is, it's not going to be that blatant and that gross of display, right?
You never know. My fingers are crossed, man.
No, I know.
I
know that it is. It's a concept, but the thing is that we're not there yet. Just like what Corey Good is saying, and what a lot of other people are saying, that we're not there yet. This society, we're not there yet. We're not. That's not where we're at.
So, what do you think about? And you started to allude to this. So let's get back on point here. Tom's direction through our conversation about it having a religious aspect to it, and our souls are directly involved here on Earth. Is that where you think things are going?
That's where it's always been. That's where we're all here. It's a death planet, a prison planet. That's whatever you want to call it. This is a kindergarten, in a way, and we're locked here. Okay,
even
and
yourself,
we're also shepherded and taken care of.
Even yourself.
Everybody that's on this planet now is either being here for incarceration, or they're here on vacation, like yourself. There's some celebrities that are here that come back and just enjoy their lives, and there are also those who are learning, and that's what it is. That's all it is. It's that simple.
Well, have you seen anything yourself? Have you had a sighting?
Yes.
And what
I had a sighting, and I had an abduction dream. So I've seen a TR-3B where I live. Actually, it was 2 years ago, and I saw one. And then I've had my experiences. I had an NDE experience almost 2 years ago with it, and it was life changing. Just like how you had mentioned when you saw what you saw at Contact in the Desert. It's something that you can describe. I know that Tom mentioned to you, you shouldn't be looking at these things. Technically, you can, because Earth is locked, so we're safe.
Yeah, that was. I remember him bringing up that point, Mike, and that's it's always an interesting point when he said, you've got to be careful about who you're trying to contact. You don't know anything. He's absolutely right about that. I don't know. Nobody knows. Stephen Hawking with his warnings. We got to be careful about trying to contact ET, because if they find out we're here and we got this really cool planet, they just may come and take it from us, right? And
they don't need this planet. That's the problem.
Well, the flip side,
everybody's looking at it like.
Well, the flip side to that, Mike, is this. I honestly feel, I really do, if they wanted it, they would have taken it. Right? If their technology, I know this to be true. Their technology is thousands, if not millions of years more advanced that we cannot comprehend.
Infinitely.
Right. So coming here and slapping us around and, I look at it like this. When you have company coming over to your house, and you're on the back patio, and you're going to have your barbecue, right? I don't know where you live, but anywhere outside of Los Angeles, you've got a mosquito problem, right? Okay, that's just the way of life. And what do? You put out the bug zappers, you walk out in the backyard, and you're spraying, bug spray, and you're getting rid of the mosquitoes, right? Right? That's what, I get that. Now, are you concerned with the mosquitoes and the baby mosquitoes and the families that you're disrupting in the mosquito life, and maybe they have a really nice home built somewhere, and now mommy mosquito can't go home to her kids, and the baby mosquitoes are now without parents, right? Are we concerned about that? No, we are not. And it would be the same thing. It would be the same thing with this planet. Okay, that very exact same thing. And that there would be no concern. So if they could do that, if they were of that mind, they would have done it already. It would be nothing to wipe us out and come here and start building alien vacation homes. Right? That's
exactly.
It's really the truth. So I'm not so
true.
sure.
It's so obvious.
Yeah. So I'm not so sure that they have these bad intentions. Because the bad intentions would have been exposed already. We wouldn't, right now, this radio show wouldn't be happening. We wouldn't have any memory of the past because we wouldn't be here.
That's what he was alluding to. That's what Tom was talking about. That's the war part. Okay? That's the part that nobody kind of really understands what's going on the planet. Because there's two factions in control, right?
Right.
There's the nationalist sovereignty type ET. That's like the representative of the United States. Okay? And then you have the globalist view ET that wants everybody to be in the same thick of it without technology in third world settings, suffering through life, and it's fast. They believe it's faster for the soul to grow, to move on. So it's all about soul growth, but they just have different views of how it's supposed to happen.
Well, how long?
That's all part of this.
Right. And so when it comes to soul growth, how long do we have to wait for that? Where are we on that timeline?
It's individual.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying, are we 2 generations away, 5 generations away? Are we 5,000 years away from this soul growth? Where are we right now?
Yeah. On this planet now, we're in the space age time frame. Because you had mentioned, see, this is all about where the planet is at. Because on this planet at this time, we're going into the space age time frame. So we're moving to get out. So it's not a coincidence that all these bills are being passed for mining in space. It's happening. It's almost towards the end. A lot of people have talked to you about, well, this is like been the 6th culture or the 6th society on this planet, or 7th society. They commission the planet, they recycle them, and they use them again and again. Okay? The human body is just a container. It's just a soul container. We're like the Honda Civic of cars, as far as the human body is concerned.
Right.
So once you graduate, you leave your body. The universe is your oyster. You can do whatever you want. But when we're in reincarnation zones, we're working. That's why this planet is set up the way it is.
Would you...
That's what people don't understand.
Right. And thank you for the phone call, Mike. Before I head to this break... No, that's okay. Hold on. I got questions, man. Hold on. Relax. If you... When you leave your container, where would you want to go? Would you leave this solar system? Would you leave this galaxy? Would you go somewhere else, or would you hang out here on Earth for another run at it?
No, it's between you and your guide. If you graduate, if they let you leave, they take you to a place. I think it's towards the center of the galaxy.
It would be cooler than Earth.
Your soul.
I mean, because I like Earth, man. I like Earth. I do.
But you can come back.
I don't have any issues.
Nobody understands. You can come back. You can see everything the way it's supposed to be seen. We're muted in these human bodies while we're here. We don't see everything.
Right.
I mean, you know that. We only see a certain band of information with our eyes and ears.
That's right.
So when we leave, we're able to see everything.
Well, I hope that when I graduate, Mike, that wherever I go to, that I've got really good coffee and the Indy 500. We got to have, I got to have my car racing. There are things about Earth that I absolutely love and adore, right? And there's a lot wrong with here. There's a lot wrong, but I think we're growing up every single day. The way that things were going, how would you like to be in Rome in like 100 AD? Fighting gladiator style in the Colosseum to the death against lions. That would kind of suck, right? And I think that we've grown up, we've matured past a lot of bad things. We've got a lot of things that we deal with here today, but I think we're getting better about it, don't you?
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Actually, there's a lot of planets like Earth, where a certain time will be like an Earth will be at an ancient Rome time. Or it'll be at an ancient China. Okay, so that's how you always get this whole time travel thing. Oh, he's a time traveler. Well, technically, there is no time travel. It's just each planet that's Earth-like prison planet is at a certain time frame. There's millions of them, billions of them. So it's not just one Earth. We have to get away from that just one little Earth, and it's just us. It's not true. There's billions of Earths. There's plenty of humans on them experiencing a time frame that's all linear, and it's all spoon-fed, and it's devised for us. So we could skip to another planet system and find humans in ancient Greece. They could be at the ancient Greece time.
Absolutely. Mike, listen, man, don't be a stranger with the phones, man, and call back anytime, my friend. Great conversation. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. You have a good night.
You too. Thank you, Mike. That's what I'm talking about. First-time caller right there. 323-825-5045, Thursday night, Fader night. I'll be right back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Oh, fall. My favorite time of year. Cooler temperatures and, well, let's be honest, layers. Lots and lots of layers. Look, I get it. We all have that favorite hoodie. Matter of fact, I've got a few favorite hoodies. You should wear yours. Enjoy it. I do. But I stay focused on my health year-round. And for me, I take Nature's Youth RSF from nature'syouth.com. Nature's Youth RSF from nature'syouth.com. I eat right, control my portion sizes, still maintain a commitment to regular fitness, and I get plenty of rest, and I take Nature's Youth RSF. It's okay to cover up your beach body for a few months, but don't just forget about it. Nature's Youth understands exactly what it means to provide top-quality health products, and Nature's Youth customers not only improve their health, they know they're also providing their body with the right nourishment to maintain peak performance levels and fight the aging process. So layer up and get started today with Nature's Youth RSF. nature'syouth.com. Simple to use, even simpler to order. Go to nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
I have actually been on Balance of Nature for a year now.
I have MS, and I recently had an MRI. This is the first year that I've had a stable MRI, so I'm thrilled. When I have an MRI with MS, usually there are glowing spots that come through, which is damage on the nerves in my brain and my spinal cord, and when they're glowing, it means they're active. And then my last MRI, they pulled it up, and I honestly couldn't believe that it was my MRI. There was nothing glowing. And in fact, the dark spots were shrinking. They were healing. And the doctor actually said to me, I think we're in remission. I was so happy. I had no idea that that could be my reality.
The new challenge will allow you to receive 2 months of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies free. And we'll even ship them to you free. Call now for details. Call 1-800-246-8751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code TALK.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. Thursday night, Fadernight, 323-825-5045. This portion of the show is brought to you by Life Change Tea. Just go now by clicking on the banners over at jimmychurchradio.com. It'll take you straight to getthetea.com. When you get there, go to the specials area. I do the drops. That's what I do. I do the moringa. I do olive leaf, pine bark, vitamin C drops every single day, followed by, a swig of coffee. It's the way that I do it. Just mention Jimmy when you order, either online, over the phone, and you'll get yourself free shipping because you know somebody. You know me. You are a fade or not. All right, 323-825-5045. The last call with Mike, I want to go back and address that really quick. I think that what Tom DeLonge is doing is important, and it's courageous, and he has the money and the celebrity and so forth to go and apply a full force, foot on the neck kind of thing with this, and I appreciate that. But I'm just wondering what this big reveal is going to be. And I'm being serious about that. I'm not really interested in anything less than, if you're going to say something like that, something extraordinary, something over the top, something for real. And I was thinking about that after he made the announcement. What could he possibly reveal? What could it be? We have all the documents that we need. We have all the witness testimony that we need. We have all the videotapes that we need. We've got all of that. So what could it be that would just be this big reveal? And I started thinking to myself, it would have to be something like a tour of an alien craft. Now, if it was that, right? And I'm being serious for a second. Tom with the cameras, come on, follow me. Here it is. Here's the craft. I'm going to take you on the inside of it. This is it. We're in a top secret location. I can't say where it is, but this is real. This is a craft. Let's go inside. I want to show you everything. Now, if it's that, we've got something. Other than that, we have everything that we need. I've seen what I've seen. I don't need proof. But for everybody else out there, what would it take to push things over the edge? So, I hope it's something that dramatic. I really do. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy, can you hear me?
Yep, I got you. Who's calling?
Awesome. Mike from New York. Hadn't called in a while. Felt like I needed to tonight.
Okay. What's on your mind? What's on your mind, Mike?
Oh, man, a lot of stuff on my mind. I got a million things. You could jump around for a while, but I'm laughing to myself because I was thinking of a cartoon as I'm listening tonight of an alien landing in the classic Take Me to Your Leader cartoon. And, you could just go in a million directions from there. And then having them beam up to the mothership. There is no intelligent life on Earth. But anyway, you want to play rock and roll trivia? You haven't done that in a while.
Oh, I haven't done that in a couple of years. Okay, go ahead. What have you got?
Well, let's see. Something hard to Google, something that's personal or has some relevance. So how about a Steely Dan song with the name of your show in it?
A Steely Dan song has Fade to Black in it?
Yeah. Do you know what it is?
No.
Got it right in the lyrics.
Well, okay.
Yes,
hold on. What album?
I think it's Royal Scam.
Okay. All right. Man, I did not know this.
If I can stump you with this one, I have scored.
You know what's funny? The last few weeks on Coast to Coast, I've been playing a Steely Dan track each night. And I am a big Steely Dan. Donald Fagen is the man. And I've actually seen Steely Dan, live, which is a rare thing. And I'm a big Donald Fagen guy. And so over the last few weekends in hosting Coast, I've been going through the Steely Dan catalog and just listening to it nonstop. And for you to suggest this to me right now, and I'm just trying to think. I don't know.
That's a mind blow.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the track? You stumped me.
Well, it's got to do with relationships and
Haitian divorce.
Country.
Is it Haitian divorce?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know the line in the song?
Yeah, I know it. Chaz and Clean Willie were in love, they said, so, but, and now they fade to black.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. Man, that's really cool. I'm looking at Twitter. Everybody seems to know this, but Haitian Divorce is a great song. Royal Scam, great album. And I've just now remembered that. Totally cool. I'll tell you something else, Mike. What is really strange? Rita and I, we binge TV series, right? And we went and binged Alpha House, which I think was only on for 2 seasons. Pretty funny. John Goodman. I'm trying to think of some of the other actors, but it doesn't matter. It's a comedy series about Washington D.C. But in this series, which came out right before we launched this show, and we had to go back and check on this because, here it is. They danced the famous merengue. Now we dolly back. Now we fade to black. There it is right there. It just got posted. And so we're sitting there watching the series. And, they're like walking down the hallway and they're like, okay, guys, we've got to jump into the sandbox. Right. And we're like, what did they just say sandbox? Right. And then it was like a few minutes later, somebody said, well, blah, 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 and then we got to fade to black. And I'm like, wait a minute. And then another episode popped up, and all of these little Jimmy-isms and fade to black-isms were popping up on this show. So Rita and I thought that maybe the writers were watching or listening to Fade to Black, which is, it's a safe thing to assume. But it turned out that it came out a year before Fade to Black did. And we had never seen it. We didn't watch it until last week. We binged the entire 2 seasons. But isn't that funny? And so then we were the new season of Homeland just started. And, at the beginning of Fade to Black, where one of the commercials that we have with Reese Ifans, right, the actor, where he says the revolution will not be televised. It will be on radio, right? Well, on the new season of Homeland, go and watch it. During the opening credits on the show, they actually say that the revolution will not be televised. Right? I was like, what? You know, yeah, it's pretty trippy. Now,
some time travelers playing with you at this point.
The question, so it begs the question right there. You know, are they listening to Fade to Black? Right now, it's a famous quote that goes all the way back to the United Kingdom, and I understand that. But certainly, it hasn't been used. That we know of. And Reese Evans, when he cut that for us, he goes, you know what? I got the perfect drop for you. And I said, all right. And he goes, are you ready? And then he said what he said. And I love Reese. He's an amazing actor. But it was funny to watch him record this because he closed his eyes and then he just shot that off one take and did that for us. And that's
awesome.
Yeah, and it was just all about the revolution being on radio, and I had forgotten about that quote.
If they're not listening to the show, they should be, because I got to give you a lot of kudos. You're like so good with everybody who calls. You maintain your balance. You're right where you should be, and people can hang up without they're your friend from start to finish, kind of like your disclaimer at the beginning of the interviews.
Right.
It's pretty cool. And some of the I was thinking about some conspiracies that haven't been talked about.
Like what?
One had to do with Illuminati, with global warming, and the conspiracy there is they know they trust the science. They know what's going on, and they're telling us not to trust the science. And in the meantime, they're positioning themselves with all the resources and the solutions for the panicking hordes once the serious stuff really hits the fan. That's something I'm thinking about, on the side, as a potential issue.
Yes, and I agree with that. One of the things when it comes to weather control and weather manipulation, it's not if they do it. We know that they do, and they talk about it all the time, and trying to, very basic things like ski resorts, right? Seeding the clouds so they can get some snow, right? So we know that the technology exists, and it's not that hidden. Right, but that's what we know about. But the flip side of that, if you are involved with the cabal and global corporations and the Illuminati, and you're dealing with wars and both sides of the fence, and the production of military equipment and all of that, and funding and money, right? And you have the ability to inflict damage on a country, like give them a drought, right? Cause famine.
Economic destruction.
Right.
There.
Why wouldn't you do that? Well, of course you would, wouldn't you? And so you would not only hit their bank accounts, but you would affect the population, cause that uprising and the distrust of the government and everything else if the population is being starved and the government can't do anything about it. There's a way to wage a war against another company with weather manipulation and chemtrails that doesn't involve bullets or something that is obvious that the media would cover, right?
It's hard to track. It's hard to trace who did it. I don't know.
Right. Right. And that's how you would topple a government or weaken a government before you invade. Right. It just makes perfect sense to me. And the other side of that, and this is what blows my mind, Mike, and I want to thank you for bringing this up because it isn't talked about enough. But if you control the weather and you control the seeds, and you are developing GMOs, and you also control the lines of distribution, and, right? Suddenly, everything comes into play. You profit on the drought, right? You develop seeds that resist.
Seeds.
Right. So you sell that, and then you have the rain come in, And you are now selling seeds that absorb all the excess water, or when you have that play, but then you are controlling the ebb and flow of fruits and vegetables and products, right? Because you
own the real estate that is actually still productive after the drought occurs,
and you own the trucks, right? You own the trucks that are delivering the product, and because there is now there's a global shortage on strawberries, right? They go up in value, and then it's like this crazy cyclical thing. And then when you expand that, where you're covering like something like a commodity like corn, okay, we eat a lot of corn, right, as human beings, but we also use it as feed for the cows, right? But we also use it for fuel, biofuels.
It's all interrelated.
Exactly. It is a nutty thing. I really, really feel that is one of the bigger conspiracies out there. You think about those guys, that are sitting around the dark boardrooms. Let's do that. Some crazy dark plan. But these guys
they're
actually
just trying to anticipate what the situation's going to be, and if they have some science to back it up, they have much less risk.
Well, and that's exactly the point. Those guys have charts and graphs, right, that they are displaying, some crazy PowerPoint display, right? Okay, so we dry it up for a couple of years, and then the cost of, we make more money on the fruits and vegetables and the agriculture and the things that we are growing. And then we go ahead and manipulate the cost of the grain that is feeding the cows, because the corn and the GMO, it's just like crazy how these things are planned out. But I guarantee it, like as sure as I'm sitting here, there are guys doing exactly what I'm talking about right now. And if they're not, they're dumb, because they have the technology to do all of it. Right? So of course they are.
Yeah. They got crews of people and accountants and scientists and everything else doing the predictions and putting it out there. And then they're sitting around the boardroom making the plans to take advantage of it.
And keeping the cycle going, right? That's all that, it's like a little
keep people off balance.
A 3-year plan, and so at the end of this, we'll start it over again, and we can go ahead and sell more seeds, and then we can, it's great. And this is the other thing, Monsanto and those really large corporations, they own the chemicals that are seeding the skies, right? They own those. They own the fleets of planes, right? And then they own the infrastructure, and they have lease plans, floor leasing plans, and banks in place to loan the money to the farmers to turn around and buy the seeds from them on a revolving charge account. They make the money on the interest of the loan.
What if they drop the seeds out of the plane and then sue the farmer for growing the food?
Well, and that's the other thing.
License.
And it's a monopoly, right? It's a monopoly. So the farmers, they need to get the loans to buy the seeds. Right, and it's this cyclical thing, and the corporations and the banks are making money on the interest. This isn't some conspiracy theory. This is the economic model that is in place right now. Talk to any farmer. He's going to tell you that's exactly how it goes down. They come to me, they loan me the money to buy the seeds. They're making interest on the loan that they are giving me to buy their seeds to put it in the ground. It's like, wait a minute here, but that's exactly how it goes. And you can only buy their seeds.
And the neighboring farmers who haven't bought the seeds yet, if the seeds blow over into their fields, somebody comes around and says, "Hey, you're growing our seeds without a license."
So what do you do? What do you do?
I'm an internet network engineer.
Okay,
but so I deal with a lot of the science in the country too. But you were mentioning a couple months ago about the I think it was a W7X stellarator in Germany.
Right.
And that was something I never hear on the radio. Who the hell is talking about the stellarator in Germany?
Right.
I was talking to a guy from Princeton Plasma Physics Lab, and he said, that was conceived at Princeton, but the U.S. just never did anything with it. And they had so the Germans took it. It's a really intricate design. We've been doing tokamaks, which are like a big donut, and it's almost like a 2D thing. And then you get into the stellarator, and what they figured out was the flow of the beams and the way that it interacts with the time-space fabric. It moves in a 3D way, and that whole thing is a mind blower. But I just think people should realize that while the propeller heads are talking about all that stuff, it may not be part of your life right now, but in 100 years, 200 years, that's the technology that's going to make sure humanity survives, because we're going to be out of oil by that point.
Who do you think is paying Elon Musk to go around the moon? I ask you because you're in IT.
I have no idea.
Is it? Well, you're in IT, and the one thing that in the life that the path that you have chosen, the big money out there. Yeah, it's corporate money, and there's things in big pharma, and there's things in big oil, but the real big money is Google. Right? Is Amazon, is Microsoft.
Oh, yeah.
That is the...
I remember the first time I heard about Google in 1999. Very first time I even heard about them. 1999.
Right.
And now this is only 17. It's 18 years later, and they rule the world.
Literally rule the world. So would it take the vision of that kind of money that comes out of Silicon Valley, and it is stupid money? Do you think there would be a couple of internet guys that are paying Elon to do this? And why would because it takes somebody with deep pockets to fly around the moon. All right, let's not beat around the bush here. So it's obviously somebody with some money. But why would somebody risk their lives to go around the moon unless they know something that we don't, that it's a safe program, that it's already been tested and we don't know about it?
Well, there's a lot of neat theories about what's on the other side of the moon. As we know, it's not the dark side, but it's the far side.
Right.
It never faces the Earth, so it's a great place to put something if you wanted to put something there. Maybe they want to see what's there.
Well, what I find interesting here, Mike, and you listen to this show enough to know my take on this, that for somebody that has money, and I don't want anybody to misunderstand what I'm saying. I want to be very clear here. You're not going to jump on a ship that has never done it before. You're going to jump on a ship and go around the moon that's already done it, right? The systems have been checked. But apparently...
Yeah, otherwise insurance would be insane.
Well, now, as far as I know, Elon Musk has not told us that he has tested said aircraft or spacecraft, right? That's what I'm trying to say here. I think that they've already tested this a lot, and somebody is now ready to jump on board. You're not going to be Yuri Milner. You're not going to be Bill Gates and be the test monkey. No,
that's true. Why would a rich person like that be the test monkey?
Right. I'm not going to spend $100 million out of my pocket to go fly around the moon as, testing your spacecraft. No. And so why wouldn't Elon have tested it already? Well, I'm thinking he has, and we just haven't known about it. Otherwise, why would somebody do it? Nobody would. Nobody.
Why wouldn't advertise the test flights, though?
Yeah, that's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. So there's something that it just doesn't sit right. Doesn't smell. It doesn't pass the smell test. So Either Elon has been testing and they've already cruised around the moon a few times and they know that this is solid, and now they've got a couple of rich billionaires that want to pay to go cruise around the moon because they know the systems have been checked. I'm serious. I don't think anybody is crazy enough or stupid enough to be the test pilot on this. You just wouldn't do it, would you? No.
I don't understand. I haven't seen the designs, but it's a pretty big test to get all the way to the moon from the surface. Is it a two-stage thing?
What he announced on Monday was he has got two guys. Well, we're assuming they're guys. Could be two women. But he's got two passengers that have paid the deposits, and they are going to do this in 2018. That's 12 months away. So what is really going on here? What is the real story? I don't know, but it cannot be a maiden test flight. It just can't be. Not with billionaires. I would put.
I see a point about somebody so wealthy they're not at risk.
Well, I would put Justin Bieber on that thing. I would be okay with Justin Bieber being the test. He could pay for it. But you know what I mean? But anybody else, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. There's something more to this story. And maybe Elon will step forward and go, look, man, they are not making the first flight. We have done 10 of these already. We haven't announced it. We've kept it in secret, but they're going to be safe, and we feel pretty confident about this. All right, that would explain a lot. But just to throw a couple of billionaires on the front end of a bomb and launch them to the moon and tell them that they're going to make it back, maybe. I don't know, man.
Well, especially they've already had one failure.
Oh, they've had a few. No, they haven't had just one. That one was just recent. The one where the UFO
I'm thinking of the
blew
one
it up.
with the pilot in it, though. I think they had a couple of the automated ones with no pilots. They've exploded, but the one where the guy almost did he die?
No, you're talking you're talking about Richard Branson and Virgin Galactic. Yeah.
That is Branson. It's the one that looks like a badminton thing when it falls down. The air brakes. Yeah.
All right. Hey, Mike, thank you for the phone call, my friend. Great phone call.
Hey, thanks, Jimmy. And you know what they say in Hollywood?
What's that?
Go get my Bentley.
Oh, that's enough. I don't have a Bentley yet, Mike, but when I do, I'll fly you out and we'll cruise around in it together. How's that?
Cool. See you later.
Thank you so much. Mike from New York. Fade to Black. Thursday night, Fadernight, 323-825-5045. I'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
KGRA Radio. Intelligent talk.
PatriotPrepared.com carries the leading brands of storable food from Numana, Legacy, and Heaven's Harvest. Patriot Prepared. Our name says it all. We're dedicated to empowering you to be self-reliant and confident in any circumstance. Whether you want to be prepared in the event of an emergency or you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, PatriotPrepared.com has prepackaged meals and kits for your entire family. Legacy, Heaven's Harvest, and Numana are known for high-quality, great-tasting GMO-free, nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. Simple to prepare, easy to store, gluten-free and organic high-quality nutrition options with a 25-year shelf life. You can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. So go to PatriotPrepared.com right now to pick up your supply of high-quality storable food for your family, because it makes good sense to be prepared. That's PatriotPrepared.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on the smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Would you like relief from muscle pain, headaches, and discomfort to sleep better, have more energy during the day, and just feel naturally amazing? Fibromalic can help. Its blend of malic acid and magnesium can provide pain relief and comfort for those who experience fibromyalgia. It helps your body absorb more oxygen, and it works quickly for a significant reduction in pain within 48 hours, all without a prescription. Ask for Fibromalic at health and vitamin shops or shop fibromalic.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Teppy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn
it. This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back. Fade to Black, Thursday night, Fadernight. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Open lines 323-825-5045. 323-825-5045. This portion of the show is brought to you by River Moon Coffee, makers of the Fade to Black blend. Yes, it's dark, it's complex, it's smoky. That's right. Just go to the River Moon banner right now at jimmychurchradio.com. Use the promo code F2B blend and you will get 15% off of your order. All right. Now, become a member. Become a Fadernaut today. If you get a 1-year subscription, you will be entered in our contest this month. We'll be giving away a Tascam DR100 Mark III digital recorder, $299, man, retail value. It's got built-in microphones, 2 batteries, backup files. This is the way to go. And if you're a ghost hunter, if you're a musician, everybody needs a DR100 Mark III from Tascam. All right, and so we're going to be giving this away in 3 weeks. We're going to do it live on the air. We're going to do a drawing. I can't wait. It's going to be really cool. See who gets this. Somebody is going to be so happy. Just go to the membership area right there at jimmychurchradio.com and become a member. 1-year subscription gets you in the contest. Okay, 323-825-5045. One of my favorite things, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier, is cars. I'm into cars. If I get reincarnated, my soul gets delivered to another planet in the universe after my stay here on Earth. Man, there better be coffee. That's all I got to say. If I get to that planet and I've got no coffee, right, or no cars, that would just bum me out, man. It would. I'm serious. I like V8s, V12s. There's nothing like the smell of burning motor fuel, right? But check this out. One of the, and I talk about it all the time, Steve McQueen, the movie Bullet, that car chase scene, which is like 45 minutes long, man. It's insane. And Steve did a lot of the driving himself. And that green 1967 Mustang is one of the most classic cars ever. Well, they used 2 in the movie, right? They had a stunt car, and then they had the clean car, right? The clean car, we know where it is. It has been sold 3 times. But one of the most legendary cars in all of history is that stunt car from Bullet, okay? It looks like they found it after 50 years. It's been missing. Now, like I said, there were 2 Mustangs used during filming. One that was kept neat and clean, and the other one that did all of the dirty work, and including that groundbreaking chase through San Francisco. The pampered star car was preserved and sold 3 times over the years, and it's privately owned today, while the stunt car was beaten up so badly by the end of production that it was actually sent to the wrecking yard. Well, that's the story. At least that's what most people think happened. But a member of the Vintage Mustang Forum claims now that the car recently surfaced in Mexico. Now, its exact location is undisclosed. Fede Garza posted photos of a Mustang that, in an ironic twist of all of this, was about to be converted into a replica of the Eleanor Mustang from the film Gone in 60 Seconds. That's the big trend today, an Eleanor knockoff. And it's cool. I get that. But when the owner of both the car and the business researched the vehicle's VIN number, he learned that it looks like it's the car from Bullitt. If authentic, the number is a match of the missing movie car. We are talking about one of the most iconic things of all time. Now, the car that they found in Mexico has a couple of telltale features for me that say it may be the real deal. Number 1, it's got reinforced shock towers. It's got a custom 9-inch rear axle, and it's got holes in the trunk that were used to accommodate a generator used to run the in-car camera lights. Think about this for a second. It's been rotting away in Baja, California for 20 or 30 years. There you go. It looks like the Bullitt Mustang, the stunt car, has surfaced. And I'm telling you right now, over at the house, I have I have to ask Rita, I think I have 3 models of the Bullitt Mustang. It means a lot to me, and I'm glad it surfaced. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hey, Jimmy, this is Joe.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
Good, man. I've been kind of a new listener to your show. I've been listening for a while now, but I heard you talking on another show before when you went to Contact in the Desert. I might have heard you wrong, but did you have a paranormal experience of your own? Did you finally see something? Or I kind of caught the end of a show. It had something to do with looking through infrared or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Night vision goggles. It happened last year, and we saw this green chrome, that's how I've described it, like a Christmas ball, Christmas ornament, that you've had on your Christmas trees, right? Something like that was a couple of miles away. It was probably 100 feet in diameter. And it took off. It lasted for about 5 minutes. There were hundreds of witnesses that were standing there with me. And a documentary film crew was there, too, as well. And we all watched this thing fly into space and take a left-hand turn and disappear out into the stars.
Right on. Well, since you're talking about cars, I wonder what your opinion is on the electric car, like the Teslas and stuff. Do you think that we should crush all the gas cars and move on to better technology, man, or should we keep the old muscle car alive?
No, man, we got to keep the muscle car alive. You're kidding me, right? We have to.
Kind of. I don't know. We got to progress, but I sure hate to see those old cars go away.
Yeah, well, it's got to be a combination of the both, my first car, right? And when I was in high school, right after I graduated high school, actually, my parents helped me get a 1967 Mustang, talking about the Bullitt, right here. And so that was my first car, a V8, man. And you never forget, working on the car, the sound, the speed, the power, and all of that. So I am a true muscle car guy. I love Ferraris and Lamborghinis and things like that too. Mechanically, they're just beautiful cars. But I grew up with auto racing, and I just, I'm a car enthusiast. So I don't know. I appreciate the technology of an electric car. I would probably own one, I suppose. The Teslas are the fastest cars in the world. I mean, and they're electric, right? So I get that too as well, and I understand the performance of that. But and I really think that the peak oil situation, and eventually, I suppose we could run out of oil. But I don't think that we would ever, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years from now, but we would probably be well on into another technology at that point. And, the gas cars of today and the V8s and the Mustangs and the Camaros and the Chargers and the things that we have today will still be around, and there'll be a way to power those. There'll still be gas but those will be, collectors things. They, would be something that you would drive to work. So, that's just my take on it. I love V8s. The pollution and everything else. I'm not a big Greenpeace kind of guy where I think that V8s are bringing down mankind and auto pollution. Right. We've got other issues out there that create that. I don't think it's cars that are a big part of that problem. But, and I know that I'm going to have people that are going to be upset with that statement. But you know what? I am who I am, so I don't hide that fact.
Well, I hate to beat a dead horse, and this will be my last question. But that thing that happened at Standing Rock, man, how do we make sure that just stops? How do we stop that?
Yeah. How I don't know if we can ever stop it. It's something that we need to make everybody aware of. That's how we slow it down. I don't think that we can ever stop it, but we need to talk about it. The thing about Standing Rock for me, yes, I understand the possibility of contaminating the rivers or the water supply. There's always that possibility. I understand the sacred land. I understand the Indian treaties and reservations and so forth. I get all of that. But ultimately here, I think the bigger story is, where's the money going? Who's profiting off of it? And here in the United States, we're still importing oil. And if that oil and all of these problems that were raised with Standing Rock, and that oil is just going to get exported and get sent out of the country, and we don't benefit from here in the United States, that is ultimately the biggest crime, and nobody's talking about that side of it. Why would we go through all of this hassle about running a pipeline across the United States that could contaminate our waters and create issues, and then all we're going to do is just export it? That's not cool. Right. That just doesn't even sit right with me. It's just like, wait a minute, who's making those decisions? And it's not being talked about. If that oil, we go through all of this, and that those Indians in the Sioux tribe, and they stood up for what they believed in to ultimately have that oil sold to China, somebody should go to prison, man. I mean, somebody should go to jail for making that kind of decision. And that's what we need to talk about. We need to talk about that part of it. And nobody, not even the Standing Rock tribes that I can tell. If I was them, I'd be screaming about this very, very loudly that, they are sending this oil outside of the United States. The Americans aren't even, we should be burning that oil in our own cars as Americans. Yeah, I'm being serious too, man. I'm not playing around about this. I'm being very, very serious.
Yeah, it's almost like when the Army Corps went in there or whatever, when they were speaking, it almost looked like that they were used to it, like it was something that they do all the time. Right. Here we go again. We're going to leave peacefully. You guys get your way. We tried.
Yep. And I thought about there were so many disgusting things about Standing Rock. The list is really long. But the other part of it that just felt really weird to me, and again, I don't want to piss people off here, but this is what my eyeballs saw. That they built this encampment on grazing land, and I'm talking about the protesters, of where bison and buffalo hang out, right? And they went and just destroyed that grazing land. Now, if you're going to go and protest, go and clean up after your protest. Go in and remove the garbage that you created there. You know, that's grazing land, and there's a flood that's about to come in, and water is about to wash all of that garbage and waste and everything else that is there into the very water supply that you're there protesting about. I just felt really, so it just seems like the entire thing was just handled wrong, and in the end, big oil won. Just absolutely crazy. Oh, man. All right. 323-825-5045. Thank you for the phone call, Joe. Great phone call. Oh, man, I hate hitting buttons here in real time. You guys get to see me do this. But somehow I do it, and I still talk at the same time. Clicking here, clicking there, clicking there, clicking here, clicking here, clicking here, and I still talk. The Federal Communications Commission voted 2-1 yesterday to block one of several broadband privacy rules the agency approved last year that I talked about on this show to protect consumers' online activities. And I was so happy that it went down. The new rule, which had been scheduled to take effect today, would have required telephone companies and internet service providers to take reasonable steps to protect consumers and customers' information from theft and data breaches and provide notifications if and when they occur. It would have happened today, but they voted it down after they approved it last year. Every time you go online, you reveal a lot of information about yourself. You know, what you browse, where you shop, and how you buy, what apps you use, and basically everything that you're interested in. That gives your ISP and cable company, such as Comcast or Charter or Telco or AT&T or Verizon, a lot of information about you. They can track, collect, and share this data with outside companies. They sell that information. The new broadband privacy rules, which were approved last year by the FCC when it was headed by the chairman, Tom Wheeler, promise consumers greater control over their personal information, how it's collected, and who it is shared by. But now, that would have taken effect today. Now they voted it down. That is an outrage. Let's go to Maria in Sweden. Hi, Maria. Maria, are you there? I see you. Oh, man. Okay, I don't have you, Maria. Call back. I'll bring you to the front of the line. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. You're live. You're live. Wow.
Hello?
Yeah, you're there. Okay. You're live. Man, I don't know what's going on all of a sudden. Let's try. Maria, are you there? Huh. Can you not hear me? I can hear you. All right, I'll go to another call. Let's try this one. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hello?
I can hear you. Huh. Wow, man. Let's try this one again. Maria, are you there? Wow, I think our phones just went down. Okay, I just did 4 phone calls in a row. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, I'll reset. How's that? Let's do this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. All right. This data safety situation, the reason why for me, it's that safety provision was blocked from going into effect. The ISPs would have been required to strengthen their position of consumer information from breaches and other vulnerabilities using industry-accepted best practices. The rule would have also imposed stringent requirements for disclosure if a data breach did occur. The other rules are still included to be implemented later in 2017. One calls for greater transparency. Your ISP would be required to tell what kind of information was being collected about you, how it is used, what data, and which other companies had access to it. Right now, none of that information is available to consumers. You know, and what should happen here, and it looks like it will take off in 2017, that the new regulation, one of the 3 rules that they didn't is that you would have an opt-out consent on data collection. This means that you would have to agree before an ISP could use, share, or sell your personal data. Now, right now, the only people that are protected on this are children's information and health and some financial data. But everything else pretty much is free and clear to sell to the highest bidder. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. You're live. Oh, man. You're live on Fade to Black.
Wow, Jimmy, I don't know if you can hear me, but I can't hear you, but I'll try back.
Okay,
Love the show.
Okay, all right. You're live, though. We can hear you. Wow, that's really strange. Why can't anybody hear me? Huh. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Yeah, I can hear me in the background. Huh. I have no idea what's going on, folks. On a Thursday night, no less. All right, I'm going to, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'll reset everything. I'll do a hard reset during the break, and I will figure it out. But that is absolutely bizarre. There's things that I can do. So moving on, as we lead into this break, Venezuela, right now, today, and you know what? And what's really strange is nobody is talking about this. This isn't not only in mainstream media, but even alternative websites and alternative news. Nobody is talking about Venezuela. Let me tell you something. Venezuela today has only $10.5 billion in foreign reserves left. And they just released their own banking information. For the rest of the year, Venezuela owes roughly $7.2 billion in outstanding debt payments. In 2011, Venezuela had roughly $30 billion in reserves. In 2015, it was down to $20 billion. According to the country's recently released 2016 financial data, are you listening? They have about $7.7 billion of its remaining $10.5 billion of reserves in gold. No cash. None. To make debt payments right now, over the past year, they've been shipping gold to Switzerland and selling it. Now, this is what's crazy. Venezuela has more oil reserves than any other nation in the world. And oil shipments make up 90% of the country's total exports. It doesn't make any sense. And right now, they are about to go broke. No money anywhere in the country. The clock is winding down on Venezuela. Why is this happening? How is it possible that a country that has that much oil and that much access to not only cash, but the ability to take care of their own citizens and to run them into the ground? I don't understand why. It doesn't make any sense. All right, I'm going to do one more test here. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Can you hear me? Wow. Okay, yeah. Phone systems are down. All right, I've got 10 calls on hold. Before I just go and click through everybody and hear the same thing, I'm just going to hard reset the phone lines. Before I get there, federal law enforcement agencies have now searched the offices of Caterpillar in Peoria and Morton, Illinois. The company admitted everything today and says that they are cooperating with the authorities. Who are the authorities? Well, check this out. It's the Internal Revenue Service Criminal Investigation Division, the Department of Commerce's Office of Export Enforcement, and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. They're all raiding the offices of Caterpillar. Now, nobody really knows because nobody is actually talking about what is going on, but the rumors are they've been moving money offshore and not accounting for it and not paying taxes on it. Caterpillar, of all of the great companies, right, in the United States. Now, been talking about Richard Branson all night tonight and Virgin Galactic, but here we go. Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic Space Company is spinning off its Launcher One rocket program into a separate firm to better position itself to serve the booming small satellite industry. Virgin Galactic CEO George Whitesides is going to hold the same role in the spinoff, and it's called Virgin Orbit, with day-to-day operations now in the hands of Dan Hart, a veteran Boeing executive hired away to become Orbit's president. The Launcher One program, based in Long Beach, California, will serve the small satellite industry by offering low-cost, quick turnaround launch services to orbit. With a target price of below $10 million per flight, the air-launched Launcher One will be able to carry 440 pounds into a standard sun-synchronous orbits, or more than 880 pounds into low Earth orbit. The debut flight is targeted to launch by the end of 2017. Ultimately, Virgin Orbit will be capable of a couple of dozen or more launch vehicles per year. Now, think about this for a second. That's only $120 million. That's not that much money, right? You would think we were talking about billions of dollars here, but we are not. It's $10 million per flight. 12 flights a year, that's $120 million. Where are they coming up with the money to even start this company? It's an absolutely amazing story, and the first flight will be at the end of 2017. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. This is Fadernight, Thursday night. Taking your calls. I'm going to reset during the break. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com, and you can also follow me on Twitter at jchurchradio. It's Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. I'll be right back.
Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had gout in both my knees, and it's gone.
Well, I'm pretty stupid. I should have ordered it 15 years ago. Best thing I ever got in my... It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life.
He had eczema on his hand, and it cracked for years. He did anything from doctor, every cream, everything. And 3 months on the veggies and fruit, it was gone.
They're just awesome. They keep asking me, what am I doing? I told them what I did with my cholesterol. I had the blood test, right? And it went down 100 points. 262, now it's 162. Everything is just perfect.
Call now to find out how to get your free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Call now, 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code TSL.
Would odors, mold, and mildew describe your basement or crawl space? It doesn't have to be that way. Transform them into a fresh, healthy, usable one with the technologically advanced Wave moisture control units. The computerized operation maximizes moisture control and also expels harmful radon, combustion gases, and numerous other pollutants. Dehumidifiers are old technology that do nothing for air quality and waste energy. Wave units are intelligent, self-monitoring, do not need maintenance, and will save you hundreds in electricity. Wave units are still running effectively over 15 years. They've been tested and installed in public and military housing and by property managers nationwide. Buy a unit now, and if your home is not fresher and drier, you can return it for a full refund for up to 12 months. What have you got to lose? Call now. 1-888-618-WAVE. 1-888-618-WAVE. Or visit mydryhome.com. That's mydryhome.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129 and use the promo code JCRTWS and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tepe.
This is Kristen, Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. Thursday night, Fader Night. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Email is Jimmy@JimmyChurchRadio.com. I've reset the entire system here, so we're still bringing things up. Become a Fader Not today. Go to the membership area on JimmyChurchRadio.com. This month, we're giving away a Tascam DM100 Mark III digital recorder. Next month, all you got to do, subscribe. 1-year subscriptions will be entered into our contest. Next month, we're giving away a Studio Dome Fader Not special right there. A full stereo Bluetooth sound system, 2 SBB2 speakers, power supply, hard shell case, everything good to go. And you can take your Van Halen to the back patio. All right. I think we've got everything reset. 323-825-5045. 323-825-5045. It's kind of funny because, okay, let's see. Okay, calls are now coming in. Let's go. Maria, can you hear me? Are you there? Wow, I don't understand. Maria, are you there? Okay, this is bizarre. I have no idea what's going on. I have none. I don't know. We have lost our audio going out, and nothing has changed. I have no idea. We just rebooted the entire system here. I have no idea. Okay, this is live radio, folks. I don't know how else to... I have no idea. Okay. All right. I've got to do this. I've got to do a couple of things here in real time in order to get things back to where they should be. So just go with me on this as I click through here. Boom. All right. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
This is Gabriel.
Hey, Gabriel, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. How you doing?
I'm good. Enjoying the show, man. Loving Fadernight.
Man, I was kind of tripping there. I was thinking we were in a really, really bad way. I don't understand what is going on with everything, but it doesn't matter. You're here now. It's Thursday night. It's Fadernight. What's up, Gabriel?
Oh, I wasn't planning on calling in, but I guess, might as well call in because it seems like nobody else was getting in, so I figured I'd get lucky, so I'm always lucky.
What's funny is, I went through 10 calls, right? Just bam, 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 bam. And that's all I can do, But we reset the system. Now it appears to be working. If you notice, I don't know if you're watching in the bunker cam, I literally, because I have a rack of computers that are at my knees underneath me, and I went in while everything was resetting, and I'm resetting cables, man, on my knees with a flashlight. So, you got to do what you got to do, man. I got 2 minutes or 3 minutes in the commercial break to get things up and running. But it was weird, too, because it just happened for no reason. It's not like a button was pushed or anything, or we had an earthquake or a power outage. It just stopped on its own. So There you go. All right. Oh, let me ask you this question, Gabriel. Who do you think is going to be on that rocket with Elon Musk going around the moon?
Well, I wanted to say it was going to be like, a super rich person we don't know about. Like I was going to maybe throw out like a Rothschild out there because, they rule the world. So why wouldn't they go fly in a spaceship?
Good call. I didn't even think about that.
I mean,
one of the Rothschilds.
We're thinking about scientists and all that. I mean, yeah, they love it, but wouldn't scientists think the way Allison and I do is I'm not going to strap my ass to a damn rocket.
Who would?
That's insanity.
Well, do you agree with me? And you don't have to, but are you hearing what I'm saying, that there's just no way that they have not tested this system, right? Elon Musk is saying this is the first trip around the moon, and they're going to put a couple of billionaires on this rocket. That doesn't even make sense, does it?
Oh, seriously, we're talking about scientists. I mean, we're talking about double redundancies, triple redundancies. Right. I mean, they'll run test after test after test just to see if it fails.
That's exactly right.
So I can't imagine that and for a person like Elon Musk in general, okay, just his kind of personality and the spotlight he's in and what he's doing, okay, for him to actually put that out there, I guarantee he wouldn't do it unless he was 1,000% sure he wasn't going to do that. Because literally, if he kills a couple of billionaires, that's the end of everything.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
I mean,
and let's not fake what we're trying to say here, right? I'm a billionaire. And I am used to going, flying around the world, or going to really nice resorts, and the one thing that I am with my money is I'm cocky, right? So I am able to demand certain things, that I want this resort to be a certain way. I want my clothes to be a certain way. I demand things. And if I'm going to take a trip, I want to make sure that the boat is not going to sink, right? That they have a track record of not sinking, or whatever it may be, that I'm going to drive a car that's not going to catch on fire. So I'm going to go to the moon. Okay. Have you, how's your track record? Well, we haven't really done it yet. Okay. So you want me to, it just doesn't make any sense, does it? So
it's guinea pig realm.
Yeah. So it seems to me that Elon has already tested this many, many, many times. He's already flown around the moon, right? With I don't know, with crash test dummies, but there's just no way a billionaire is going to be the test guy. Right. Yep. So I'm not crazy.
And also, ask yourself this: how many people would willingly say, "Hey"? Elon Musk comes to a family and says, I want your husband to test my rocket. I'll pay your family's comfortable living for the rest of your life if I can have him go up in this rocket and possibly die.
Sure.
they say, sure,
Right.
do it.
Right.
Take care of my family for the rest of their lives. Do it.
Right. You wouldn't pay to be the test monkey, which is what these billionaires.
Exactly.
This is what these billionaires would be doing. It just doesn't feel right. There's something more to this story. How would you feel? Let me ask you this, Gabriel. How would you feel if it came out and it was disclosed that Elon had tested this 10 times, but the public didn't know about it? Would you be cool with that?
Oh, I'm telling you, I just got that heat up the back of my back, you know, like when you're going to get really pissed off.
Right.
Seriously, man, that would make me angry because that's one of those things, like you said, 50 years, and they're going to say that we've never done anything by the moon, with the moon, near the moon, about the moon. I mean, we just kind of just walked away from it, like, oh well, we're done with that.
Right, and it turns out that
I beat the moon, so we don't have to do anything more with it.
Right, and it turns out that Elon has been cruising out there, you know, for a few years, and nobody knew about it. So that opens up the door to what else do we not know, right?
This is a question that I've always pondered after, you know, a while back when we heard about all those weird bills that they passed under Obama, talking about like rights for mining asteroids in space and stuff, and buying mining rights throughout the solar system and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, little tie-ins like that, I think to myself, is it possible? Is it actually possible that there was somebody so magnanimous on this planet that they actually bought the moon?
Are you going to Contact in the Desert?
Oh, yeah. We're going to be there, baby.
Okay, man. I can't wait to see you, man, and bring that spectacular smile with you.
You know it, man. I always do.
Thank you so much, Gabriel. Be safe out there, my brother.
Thanks, Jimmy. Take it easy. Good night.
Take it easy. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hey, Jimmy, it's Josh.
Hey, Josh, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. You know, I just got in. I don't know if I heard you right on there, but, you know, if he hadn't tested it, you know, somebody like Robbie Knievel would probably
right.
You know, if he hadn't done it. I mean, come on.
Oh, man.
Knievel would love it, man. You know, he talked about when he was, you know, right before he died, he was planning on making his own go out in glory. You know, as the last gladiator, man, you know.
That's a good call, man. I didn't even think about that. But, yeah, Evil would do it. Yeah, he would just, yeah, of course he would.
He'd jump on it. Hey, I was going to, real quick, you were talking about oil. And, man, I am oil field trash. I come from the oil field patch out of Odessa, Texas.
Right.
Get on Google Earth and look southeast of Odessa, Texas. And it'll look like the moon. But what it is zoom down in there, and you're going to see storage tank, these huge tanks with there's roads. You can get lost out there. You better take some water, and I mean it's happened, and a radio and everything, but it is nothing but oil storage, just, you know, for defense.
Yeah. And hey, Josh, before I let you go, I want to thank you for the phone call last week, man. That was an amazing conversation that we had. I think you're an amazing person. All right. And
I think you are too, man. And I appreciate you. I wanted to share that. It was just, you know, it's just, you know, just one of those things. And I appreciate the kind words.
Man, you're the best, Josh. Just thank you. Just thank you. Okay. And I really mean that.
Hey, one more thing real quick.
Sure.
Have you thought about writing a book about pyramids?
Every day.
You got the connection with Dolan, man, and his husband.
Yeah. You know, writing a book is such a huge endeavor, and it scares me. But I'll eventually get around to it, and if you know, it definitely won't be a book about me. If I do a book, I think it would be on Egypt and lost civilizations and the knowledge that we are not being presented. I think that's the angle, because that's what I have to say, right? You write a book if you've got something to say, and that's what I have to say, and that's what I would probably write it about. So thank you so much, Josh, man, and I think the world of you. Seriously, thank you.
Peace and love, man.
Peace and love right back at you. That was one of the best phone calls ever in the history of the show last week with Josh. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black.
Hi, this is Maria from San Jose. I've called a couple times, and I'm kind of getting used to this now. I actually wanted to bring up Tesla, since I'm in the Silicon Valley.
Okay.
And one of the things that I've always wondered about is the technology that is being, quote-unquote, developed in the Silicon Valley. Is it really being developed, or are they handing this technology to them?
How so? How so?
I have a family member that I can't mention that works for Tesla.
Uh-huh.
And, the things that I hear, I just don't think it's coming from one person or a group of people. I really think that it's a lot of this technology is being fed to a lot of different sources, a lot of different small sources, throughout this area. This is, and I think this is kind of how we're going to hear about all this new technology, because we're hearing about how we're going to see all this new development, all this new technology. All of this is going to be fed to us somehow, and it's all going to go to these.
Right. Well, Maria, let me ask you this: when you say fed from who?
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah.
Who's giving this information to these companies? All of these small tech companies. All of a sudden, you hear this small, unfamiliar small tech company coming up with some new technology. I'm like, how the heck did you come up with that?
Right.
And you hear it from different sources because it's huge. All of these little companies never ever heard of. All of a sudden, just have it, and then some big company buys that little company. All of a sudden, they obtain that technology. I think it's a big. I really think it's just it's how they're doing it.
Yeah, I have often wondered. Now, it's one thing with circuitry and internet design and software and computers.
No, this goes beyond that.
It goes beyond that. And when you look at, and I totally agree with you, by the way, Maria, and I think you bring up a really good point. When you look at Elon Musk, here is a guy that made his money off of the internet, right? Okay. And suddenly he's building electric cars. He's building rocket ships. He's tunneling under the earth, right? He's got all of this stuff going on in one lifetime, since.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
Yeah.
And they look at him as a god here. I mean, he's like one of the gods, And I look at him, it's like, dude, who's giving this to you?
Right. Well,
somebody pull the curtain. I need to see who's really behind it. Because I don't like the magic smoke that's being, put around him, in this land of Oz here that's called the Silicon Valley. It's just, he is a god here. You cannot do. It's a religion here. It is such a religion. So, questioning it is almost. Almost look.
Right. Well, let me tell you something. It's one thing in Silicon Valley because you drive around up there and you cruise past YouTube or Google or Apple, and you go Oracle, right? You go by these huge, just amazing campuses, and it reeks of money. You trip over money in the streets up there. It's everywhere, and I get that. But come down here to Los Angeles, and you drive over to SpaceX, right? Elon Musk company, and go look at the size of that building. That building is so big, you can't see the end of it. You stand there, and it goes for blocks in both directions. It's huge. It's so big. And you think to yourself, one dude owns this? You know, one guy built this.
Where's the money for
right?
This?
What is going? Yes,
follow the money.
It's mind blowing. Drive by SpaceX. We Rita and I, we were down there. And I said, you know what? Park the car. I'm walking in the front door. That's it, man. You know, and we were going to go take some pictures and stuff. And I thought, you know what? I just want to walk in the lobby. You know, go up. Hey, is Elon here? You know, and I was very tempted to do it. And it's right here. I should. You know what? Maybe I will do that. And if I get arrested, it'll be your fault. Okay?
Oh,
no. All right.
No, but if you ever come up here, I really encourage you to see the new Apple campus. That thing looks like a spaceship.
It does.
Seriously.
It does. It
looks
does.
like a spaceship. You drive by it. It's so surreal. I've had the opportunity to see it, and it's a spaceship. They're building a big spaceship or some kind of landing platform.
It's exactly what it looks like. And I watched, I spent about a half a day looking at a bunch of drone footage of it and in high def and the different buildings and it is so massive and so big. Now, I don't think most people understand how big and how complex that installation is. But the amount of cars parking, the roads, the infrastructure to get in and out of there, it is daunting. It is so big. It's crazy, right? But then this drone was flying around the circular roof, the spaceship part that you're talking about. And and it's all solar powered, and then you have to think about the amount of electricity and the air conditioning and everything else that is involved with it. It is one of the most massive installations. Google, YouTube, Oracle. I just brought up Oracle. We just stayed on the Oracle campus last year when we were there, and you drive around and you just look at the size of what is really going on. Most people can't wrap their minds around it. You have to go to Silicon Valley and
you live here and start looking and start really paying attention to the little things. You start to question it. You start to really question things. I mean, I think this is, and I think people who are here, who are in the tech industry, do question. When we had that UFO convention up here, in the Silicon Valley,
right?
They didn't anticipate so many people coming, but I got an opportunity to go, and I remember just talking to people, and they were really ready to open up and discuss, and so I'd like to see more of that kind of activity up here, because I think you'd have maybe, I don't know, people wanting to share things that are happening. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do. So you went to UFO Con, huh?
Oh, I totally did.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know, that weekend we were filming for the new TV show, and I just couldn't go. It's funny. It's a History Channel convention, but they had me filming that weekend. I was pretty upset about that, but I had to do what I had to do, so we couldn't go. We're going to, definitely do it this year. But it was right there in the heart of Silicon Valley, right? And,
it was, and it was way too much. They had so many people, Jimmy, that they had to move these talks into other larger facilities. It was standing room only because there were so many people. There were a lot of angry people because there was just so many people, and no one was ready for it. No one was prepared to handle such a large crowd. But I think I remember listening to Linda and how mentioning that she even, they even said it, that they were not expecting the amount of people, the value of volume,
right?
That they did, and I'm happy, because that means there's that many more people.
Yes, exposed.
Wanting to know.
Right. Who did you meet? Did you meet anybody that you wanted to meet?
Oh, George. I got to be able to do the luncheon, or the pretty awesome. we tried to do, is it George from
Sucralose?
Ancient Aliens, you know.
Mhm.
I love his hair. Linda Mutant House was there. I got to do the panel. I got to listen to the entire panel. That was amazing to listen to everyone. And again, that was standing room only. No one was sitting. That was standing room only, and everybody was just stretching and trying to hear. I'm trying to hear them, trying to see them. All I could feel was just hunger to know.
Awesome.
It was just. I'm hungry to know. And I can tell you, Jimmy, there was people who were afraid to be there.
Oh, I can believe that. Oh, yeah, definitely, for sure. Are you going to come down to Contact in the Desert?
I'm not doing it, but I would like to do a couple other events. Now, I'd love to do Contact in the Desert. I may do it. If I can get that time off, I might just go down there.
Well, enter the
I'm ready.
contest. Go and enter the contest. Go to our website, enter the contest. You know, who knows? And if you win tickets, then you'll be motivated and you can come down and hang out with us. It's just in a month and a half.
I would love to. Well, I'm so ready to. You know, like I said, I'd love to share sort of my experiences.
Absolutely, Maria. Thank you for the phone call, and be
Awesome.
safe out there. Go enter the contest. Who knows? We might see you in May right down here in Joshua Tree.
Awesome. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Maria. That's what. Very interesting that she lives in that industry up there in Silicon Valley, and she just feels like they're being fed technology. It's a very interesting point. Okay, we're at the end of the show. I got to get a couple of things in here really quick. Right now, well, you can kind of think of it as half drone, half motorcycle. There was a new hover bike prototype that has passed the sniff test. It's called the Hover Surf. It's a Russian drone startup recently unveiled its Scorpion 3 hover bike in a test flight video. I've seen it, and it works. It's kind of like a quadcopter giant that has a motorcycle frame in the middle of it. That's what it looks like. It looks like a sport bike quadcopter, and it worked. Now, it's electric. It's an electric-powered hover bike. It can lift itself and pilot right there. Boom. It's got the little handlebars on it. And if you can ride a motorcycle, you can ride this. And it looks amazing. But to me, the propeller blades are totally exposed. And it looks seriously dangerous, man. Like you could go and get your leg cut off. And I just want to say, and I want to get responses from everybody. I've got to roll credits and get out of here. When it comes to stuff like this, why aren't there covers over the blades? You know, something to protect yourself. Is it because they need the clean air for these to operate, right? And that goes for a lot of drones, you know, get your finger cut off kind of situation. I don't get it. I would ride this thing right now. I really would. But I'm too afraid of getting my leg cut off. And you watch this video. I'm being serious, too. You watch this video, and you think, wow, that looks pretty cool. I can dig it. I would do it. But it looks a little unsafe because these are some serious blades. But it got off the ground. Dude didn't crash it, and it looks pretty cool. All right, that ends another Fadernight, Thursday night, right here on Fade to Black. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Kamarian. Show is produced by Hilton J. Paul, Mark D. Kovar, LJ3, Renee, Jonas. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitoa, Mark D. Kovar, Fady by Dale. Webmaster is Drew, the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. Syndication is KGRA The Planet. Thank you to Jon Rappoport and everybody who called and tweeted in tonight. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2017 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. Cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Got a great week lined up next week. Until then, follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Everybody be safe. Go Beckley Teppy.